All right, yes, hello, hi. Yes, we're gonna do a video, okay? All right, that means you gotta be good. That means you gotta be good, okay? You're not being good. Whenever I want to start a video, this is what happens. Yes, I love you. Yes, I do. All right, can we do the video now? Say yes? Yes? Okay. All right, anybody else? Hey. Hi. Yes, hello. All right, ready? You ready? Hey everybody, welcome to GGS Railways. My name is Greg, this is my YouTube channel. All right, what are we doing tonight? Well, we've got the Flying Yankee here on the countertop, as well as the MTH Zephyr, and we're gonna compare the two. I teased this video when we first got the Flying Yankee, and yeah, we're gonna look at the two. We're gonna look at what they have in common and some of the things that aren't in common, some of the things I like about both, and some of the things, not so much. Anyway, all right, but before we get to that, now, today we got some email, and if you're an old person like me, you'll know that when you get an email, the first thing you do is you print it. And some of us older folks, we like to have things in our hands when we read, and so yeah, paper. All right, anyway. So this letter comes to us from Lucas, and Lucas is from Charlottesville, Virginia, and it starts out, "To the GGS Railways team." So I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to say that the GGS Railways team is me. So, I often talk about we, us, whatever, and, I mean the channel. I don't mean, that there's a bunch of people. It's just me. It's me and 4 dogs. That's the GGS Railways team. Our staff meetings include chin rubs and dog biscuits. Yes. Anyway, all right. So, to the GGS Railways team. My name is Lucas, and I'm writing from Virginia about something that means a great deal to my family, especially my father, Edward. My dad has loved model trains for as long as I can remember. When I was little, he'd stay up late in the garage with his layout. The soft hum of the transformer, the click of the wheels on the rails, that tiny world he built glowing under a single desk lamp. Those trains were his pride and joy, his quiet escape after long days. I can relate to that. These days, my dad is living with Parkinson's disease, and it's taken a toll. His hands shake, his memory fades in and out, and sometimes he struggles to find the right words. But when I put on your GGS Railways YouTube channel, it's like something inside him wakes up. He leans forward, his eyes bright, and says, "That's how they used to sound, Lucas. That's how they're supposed to look." Oh. And without fail, every single time he tells me, those old trains of mine need to go to those folks at GGS. Okay. The truth is, his collection isn't in great shape anymore. The engines are missing wheels, some cars are chipped, and the track has seen better days. But in his mind, it's still perfect. Still the collection he built and loved decades ago. A few years ago, he tried to give the trains to a family friend. They kindly declined, saying they didn't have the space. I'll never forget the look on my dad's face that day, the quiet heartbreak when something he loved so deeply was turned away. So, I'm reaching out to ask if GGS Railways might be willing to accept his collection, not for display, not even for restoration, but simply to see if one of those old engines might make a lap around the track again. If someone could bring one of them back to life, even for a moment, it would mean the world to him. It would let him know that the world he built in miniature still matters. Your videos have become more than entertainment for him. They're a bridge back to a time when he could still run his own trains, seeing them move, hearing those familiar sounds, it gives him peace. I think he just wants to know that his trains could find a home with people who understand what they mean. If you're able to accept them, I'd be deeply grateful. And if you can find a way to make one of those little engines roll again, I know it would make my father's day, maybe even his year. Thank you for keeping his hobby alive and for reminding people that these old trains still have stories to tell. With sincere gratitude, Lucas. I think you guys just like to make me cry. I really do. All right, Lucas. Yes, I've already actually responded to Lucas. I've seen some pictures of what he's sending, and it will be a challenge, and I'll accept that challenge, and we'll see what we can do, and hopefully we can make some of Lucas's dad's Edward's trains go around the track, and we'll see what we can do. Challenge accepted. All right, so let's move on to the main event. All right, so the Lionel Flying Yankee, that's this guy right here. So this guy came out in the mid-30s to the very early 1940s, and so that makes this a pre-war set. It's very nice. I showed you guys this the day that I got it. It runs very nicely. It's actually it's well played with. I love my trains to be well played with. It's obviously somebody has just enjoyed the heck out of this. And anyway, so we're going to compare that to the much newer MTH. This is the Burlington Zephyr, and this guy came out in 2004, so it's quite a bit younger than this guy. Now there's things I kind of like about both, and the kind of things that So all right, so let's start with the Lionel Flying Yankee. Now there's very little that I don't like about this, but anyway, so these are both articulated locomotives, which means they have the part in the middle that turns. The cars themselves do not turn. So yeah, that's a very unique way that this goes around the track. And you may have seen when I got this guy that I couldn't figure out how they go together, and it's very simple. It was so simple that I couldn't figure it out. It's just got a little latch here, just a little groove, and it just simply goes like that. That's it. So yeah, that's how it stays together, and it does stay together. It works very, very well. So all right, so on the Flying Yankee, we have a powered unit here on the front that pulls the whole thing. That's the only powered unit in the entire setup here, and I'll tell you why I said that here in a minute. But yeah, so this is the main unit. This is the drive unit, and then of course you got the two cars that, like I said, they just kind of latch together. Then you got another one of the articulating sections here. This is very cool. So all right, yeah, that's how it goes together. So all the cars are lit independently. They have pickups on the trucks here, and that's how they light. And the lights are actually in the articulated section here. So very cool. So that's the way that works. It's very nice. It works really well. This guy does have a E unit, which means that it's got the reversing unit, forwards, reverse, and neutral for Lionel. And of course, now that I said it's simple, it doesn't want to go together, but it does go together. All right, so anyway, there we go. It wanted to make me look silly there for a minute. So all right, so that compared to the MTH, and this came out in 2004, and I'm actually gonna have to put a towel down to show this, and I'll show you why in just a second. I'll be right back. All right, so I have the towel out of here because at some point I'm going to lay this over, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So unlike the Flying Yankee, these guys are not latched together in the same way. They kind of are, but not really. And yeah, I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. And this is why I have the towel here. So all right, these guys simply lift off. Once again, it is articulated. So this is one of the things I don't like about this. So you'll see that this got this wire here, and this got a little connector here. And I'm always scared that if I take this off, I'm gonna damage it. It's quite small, and the pins are quite small, and yeah, you see that. And anyway, so these go together, and I'll have to take another one apart to show you, but the way this, see, there's the wire again. We'll talk about that in a second. So all right, so the way these guys go together, it's got the slot right here, and that's where they're supposed to hook together. And yeah, then you gotta fight with the slot, and then you gotta fight with the plug and to get it together. So it's not really easy to get it together and apart. So that's one of the things that I don't care about. Now the Lionel is super play friendly, and yeah, and the other thing I don't like about the Zephyr so much is because it's so difficult to take apart and put together. If you want to store it, it's almost easier to put it all together and put it like in one piece somewhere, which means when you go to move it, it's going to be pretty difficult because you got to take all the pieces apart, because obviously you can't carry this whole thing together. So all right, so this guy's a little bit different. Got a lot of electronics, a lot of stuff on this guy. So all right, the way this guy works is he's got the powered unit here on the front, and then there's another powered unit here on the very back. So one pushes and one pulls. And once again, we got the wire to contend with. So one thing I'll say about this set, if I can get the wire off, that's why I laid down the towel. One thing I'll say about this set is that it came with some little, and I'll show a picture off the internet of what it looks like. It had some things to where you can make the trucks kind of hidden. It had kind of a flat look, you know, an optional look, and I didn't care for that, so I didn't put them on. But it did come with those. But yeah, it's all right. So on this guy here, I told you, you know, each truck picked up the power independently. This one, you know, it's got the wire. It's just kind of runs in a series there, and yeah, it's got the little electronics here. So this guy, you know, is nice, and this actually was a fairly high dollar set in 2004. I don't know how popular it was. Like I said, I guess it kind of goes back to what we were talking about the Lionel Daylight the other day. You know, if you just want to display it and take it down and, you know, show it off every once in a while, this would be great. Now, if you if you're gonna like want to take it on and off the track and, you know, really play with your trains like we do, this isn't so great. I mean, I like it. I'm not, you know, I don't regret getting it, but it doesn't really fit quite the way that we play with our trains here. So all right. So like I said, it's got these little bitty pins, and this just makes me nervous as heck. I just don't like this. So all right. So this guy has the E unit as well, and I think I told you guys wrong. I think it doesn't actually go in the hole. I think it goes right here on the trucks. Anyway, all right. So maybe, or maybe I've been doing it wrong all this time. I don't know. Uh-oh, now the wire's in there. See, I don't want to fight with it. So yep. So yeah, like I said, the play value on this is a little limited for us. So all right, well, fish this wire out here. There we go. So that's interesting that that's got the hole right there. Obviously that does not go there because it wouldn't look right. So it's the first time I ever noticed that actually. So all right, very cool. So all right, what else can I tell you? This is also like, you know, the articulating, like we were talking about the Flying Yankee. So all right, so you see how much trouble I'm having with this little connector. I'm just not really a fan. Not really a fan. Nope, I'm not. So all right, there we go. And yeah, well, if you're having a little run session or wanting to play with it, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to do just to play with your trains. So all right, let's see. Did I show you the? I don't think I showed you yet. It's got the power truck on the back. So once again, it does push and pull all at the same time, which is interesting because, you know, it's not that much to it, and it's not like you're going to add anything to it. So I'm not sure what the reasoning exactly was with that, but it does work very well. And yeah. So all right. So what else can I tell you? So this guy does have a horn. I think that's the only sound it's got. I don't think it has any of the other, like, you know, special talking sounds or anything like that you know, MTH had later on. But it does have a horn. Now the Flying Yankee does not have a horn, but I'm just here to tell you the metal body and the clicking, the clacking, this really this really is my favorite. It really is. The vintage style, and there's just something about a all metal train going around the track that just appeals to me. So yep. So all right. That's the way that goes. All right, so you know, that's what I like and don't like about each one. Now let's do what probably everybody's been wanting to do since the very first of the video. We're gonna take you there in the training room, and we're gonna see what they look like running together. I can tell you it's gonna look really nice. So let's go do it. All right, so we have both the Flying Yankee and the Burlington Zephyr here on the track, and we're going to compare the two. So all right, so let's go ahead and start with the MTH, which is on the outside track, and that is of course from 2004, and we'll just compare it to the Flying Yankee from mid 1930s to early 1940s. So yeah, very cool. So let's do this. We'll see what we see. So I've already told you some of the things about it. So the Zephyr does have a horn. Not real thrilled with the horn, but it does have one. So yeah. So all right, so like I said, this guy is powered from the front and the back all at the same time. Works pretty good. So that's that. So we're gonna let this make a round or two around the track here, and then we'll get the Flying Yankee going, and we'll see which one we like better. So I didn't tell you, but the MTH that we're running right now, the Zephyr, is plastic, while the Flying Yankee is obviously tinplate. And the tinplate just has that nostalgic, tinplate sound as it goes around the track, and I just kind of like that. So maybe it's an unfair comparison, really, other than, they're both articulated trains, and you know what? It gives us something cool to talk about, right? So, all right, so the Flying Yankee, and it does have an E unit. Let's see how well it's going to work tonight. It is, once again, from the mid-1930s to early 1940s, so we're going to give it a little bit of a break if it doesn't work properly. There we go. Just as nice as you please. Look at that. So can you hear the tinplate? I love that sound. There's just something about that. So, all right, so all the cars are lit. I do notice that the end one is kind of intermittently lighting. I think it's been a minute since I've had this guy on the track, but yeah, very nice. Very cool. How about that? I just like that. Now, there's no horn on this guy, but, super cool. So, all right. So, can you tell which one I like better? I don't know. I guess I'm just old school. I like the older things better. 2004 MTH, kind of what I would say, I think it was like $700 with the retail on this guy in 2004. And I would think that if I paid $700 for this guy in 2004, I would have wanted more. I would have wanted more probably, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Oops, I was going actually the right way. It's all right. Get it going forwards, and then we'll make them run together. Here we go. All right, there we go. How cool is that? Two articulated trains running all at once. Very nice. How cool. So, all right, what do you say that we run a few other things for some visual interest? Although this certainly looks very nice. So, all right, so what do we have on the track? We have the Silver Comet that we got in the mail not too long ago. I think that was actually the last video that we made, and that's on the track. And then we got the chassis system, which is also by American Flyer, on the track. And then we have the Tijector by Lionel, that innermost loop. And if you look closely, you might notice that there's a bunch of ties laying around everywhere, because at some point during the last video it activated itself and threw ties everywhere. All right, whatever. All right, let's see what this little Silver Comet wants to do. It's got an E unit, and I can't hear the E unit, so that's going to be a little bit problematic. But all right, there it goes. Look at that, man. Still think that's just super sharp. Wow. All right. So I haven't spaced these tracks in a minute, so I'm hoping that nothing's going to run into each other. I think it's okay, though. The Flying Yankee does turn a little bit wide just because of the way it's built. All right, so let's see. Let's get the chassis system going. And get my control to work right here. Got a problem with this one walk-around remote that it wants to stick. All right, there he goes. All right, then last but not least, we're going to get the Tijector with a little work caboose here going. And then after we get that going, I think what we're going to do is we're going to drop it down. We'll show you some of the views that I noticed you guys like. I'm not going to run this Flying Yankee just a whole lot because, once again, it is from the mid-30s, early 40s. And, it would be a shame to wear him out. All right, here we go. Ooh, that's really close to that building. Wow. Okay, let me adjust that real quick. All right, so let's try this again. So what happens is that wire for that building, the light, kind of runs close to where my feet are, and sometimes I'll catch it with my foot, and it'll pull the whole building. All right, here we go. Yay! So no ties in the Tijector to plague the neighborhood with. That was so weird. I don't know at what point that kind of turned itself on, but it did. So, all right, let's get down to the ground. We'll get the views that you guys like. Then we're probably going to call this about it for the night. Man, I'm just here to tell you, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Let's do it. All right, guys, how do we do? Wow. 2 articulated locomotives running in the same room. Wow. That's really awesome. So which one is your favorite? I guess you probably know what my favorite is. I just, you know, every time that we want to talk about a template train, that's what's going to win. That's what's going to win. It's not even a fair fight. But all right, very, very cool. Like I said, you know, I guess if you had a setup where you're going to run this Zephyr like full time on, you know, a dedicated track, it'd be pretty cool. But for our use, man, I tell you what, I bet we spent 10, 15, 20 minutes getting that thing on the track and all connected correctly. And for my playtime, that's a little too much time. But yeah, very cool. Very nice. I'm real fond of that horn. So all right, guys, I think this is about it for tonight. I think we will call this it. And yeah, GGS Railways out.
Shenanigans awaiting, come join us today. GGS Railways, we're here to play.